Mr. Ablakwa. Sir, you lied to the people of Ghana, and it's becoming evident that some West African countries, you guys are liars. You thrive on propaganda. You thrive on victimization, playing the victim whenever you are exposed, because you don't want the world to see your true colors. Sir, you lied about two things. The first thing that you lied about was the gentleman that was approached by South Africans, and then he was asked to go home and fix his country. What was wrong with that?
Let me state for the record that we have checked, and indeed it's been confirmed by South African authorities, that Mr. Malema is not an illegal.
So they're asking for documentation,
which he has
in that video,
yes,
for him to produce documents and so on. So that was another issue that came up, that if he was living there illegally, then the steps must be taken to regularize that situation. You're saying that you've checked, and this gentleman has legal status.
Yes, he's a legal resident, and that has been confirmed by authorities. Indeed, yesterday, the High Commissioner of Ghana to South Africa was invited to a meeting at the Vice President's office, the South African Vice President, and another apology was rendered, and that was confirmed that he's not an illegal migrant. He's law-abiding. He had broken no law.
The reason why you are jumping up and down, because you are trying to blindside the people of Ghana because of your failures as government, hence your people coming to South Africa. And you know what your people are actually good at, in as much as South Africans love Ghanaians. They are very good with corruption, especially when it comes to paper trail. Very corrupt, your people. But no. You don't want the world to know that, but we are going to expose it. Why? Because we live with Ghanaians. Ghanaians are quiet. They represent Ghana very, very well. There are those that are naughty, but they are a drop in the ocean, because the majority of Ghanaians in South Africa, they run businesses, honest businesses. They don't sell white powder. They don't swear or disrespect South Africans and things of that nature. However, you do have those like that gentleman that was approached by South Africans, and you did see his papers. And now you're lying to the people of Ghana by saying, oh no, he was legally in South Africa. No, sir. He was not legally in South Africa. And secondly, he's running a business as a person with a visitor's visa that expired a long time ago, and hence he had to go and make corruption on the current one. Hence you are running around and say, oh, he was legally in South Africa, we got it on good faith. You are lying, sir. And you need to be called out for lying. You are a liar. I know Ronald Lamula is not going to tell you that you're a liar because you guys have diplomatic relationships. I am an ordinary South African, and I'm going to tell you straight on your face, sir, you are a liar.
And the authorities reiterated the point they made in their statement, that it is not for citizens to go around demanding legal documents or resident permits of other guests, other Africans living in South Africa, and that they should recognize that that is solely the mandate of the South African police.
The second thing, before we move to the second lie that you told, in South Africa, to run a business, you need to follow our immigration laws. And yet, this very same so-called legally in South Africa, he's running illegal business in South Africa without following our immigration laws. That's another thing you told lies about to the people of Ghana. The second lie that you told about us, our history, how Ghana used to help South Africans. Hey, all these South
Africans you are targeting today are the very people responsible for your liberation. It is us who came together, joined forces. Indeed.
Sir, are you a Christian? I don't think you are, sir. Even if you do climb on mountaintop and say, I'm a Christian, you're not. You are a liar. You are the worshiper of the devil, the liar. Because, sir, in South Africa, we know our history. We know who helped us. Kwame Nkrumah was a Pan-Africanist. And it ended there. You helping us during the days of apartheid, show us evidence. Show us evidence, sir. Put it on the table. Show us that this is what Ghana did, and this is what Ghana did, and this is what Ghana did in evidence. Substance, something we can touch, something we can see, something we can smell. That the people of Ghana helped the people of South Africa during the days of apartheid.
If you read Nelson Mandela's book, and I've brought a copy here, Long Walk to Freedom, the Madiba, Nelson Mandela, who led the liberation struggle in South Africa against apartheid, acknowledges the role of Ghana and many other African countries in supporting the ANC that led to the liberation of Jacinta and all of these people. And this is not how you show appreciation. Let me read from page 295 of Nelson Mandela's book, Long Walk to Freedom, when he traveled to Ethiopia to address the OAU in the early 60s. This is what he had to say about Ghana. He said, in my address, I thanked the assembled nations for exerting pressure on South Africa, citing in particular Ghana, Nigeria, and Tanganyika. You know, Tanganyika is now Tanzania. Tanganyika and Zanzibar merged to now have modern day Tanzania. Who spearheaded the successful drive to oust South Africa from the British Commonwealth? This is Nelson Mandela addressing African leaders and thanking Ghana, thanking Nigeria, thanking modern day Tanzania for the lead role we played in liberating our brothers and sisters in South Africa. After this address, Nelson Mandela and Oliver Tambo decided to tour the whole of Africa, seeking support, because they had then decided that, look, the ANC must now move up in terms of its strategies. It must now mobilize, form an army. They must escalate to boldly confront the apartheid regime, because the massacre, the killings of blacks was no longer tenable. Where did they get their support from? African countries.
True.
And Nelson Mandela documents them country by country in his book. For example, if you come to page 300, he says, in Liberia, I met with President Tubman, who not only gave me $5,000 for weapons and training, but said in a quiet voice, quote, have you any pocket money? I confessed that I was a bit low, and instantly an aide came back with an envelope containing $400 in cash. From Liberia, I went to Ghana, where I was met by Oliver Tambo and entertained by Guinea's resident minister, Abdoulaye Diallo. And he documents leader after leader. In Senegal, he spoke highly of President Senghor. And he said, in the end, President Senghor furnished me. I'm reading from page 302. President Senghor furnished me with a diplomatic passport and paid for our plane fares from Dakar to our next destination in London. And this is how they left Africa. Ghana, if you come to the foreign ministry where I lead, we have a tall list of South Africans we issued Ghanaian passports to, because they have been declared stateless.
Secondly, in that lie that you tell, sir, ordinary South Africans have nothing. We have nothing. You need to learn our history, Mr. Ablakwa. Learn about South Africans, who we are. We are people of resistance, and we've won every war that was sent towards our direction. alone. We were never enslaved, and we never sold even one slave to the transatlantic slave trade like you guys did. Oh no, that's the history you don't want to talk about. You sold your own people. We know your history. Because in South Africa, our schools, we do 3 types of history: South African history, African history, as well as global history. And we learned about the transatlantic slave trade. The reason why you have those dungeons there in Ghana is because your forefathers provided land for the transatlantic slave traders. You guys went into the villages and brought your people to be sold. Yeah, evidence is in Ghana. See, I'm providing evidence. Where is your evidence of helping us South Africans? And thirdly, the people that you are talking about, that, oh, South Africa invests in Ghana. Listen, these are the white people who own these companies. You see the stuff that you guys throw in our faces? They are the ones that are running businesses in your country. They are the ones. And secondly, and the people now that are selling us off to you are the politicians that have shares with the white people's companies in your country. Where are ordinary South Africans? No, please, sir, please do me a big favor. You have all the resources as the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Ghana. Go down. Climb down from your high horse and go down to the ground and find me South Africans that are running informal businesses in Ghana, that are committing crimes in Ghana, those that are disrespecting Ghana and its laws and its people. Please do that. You know why you're not going to do it? Because you know very well you're not going to find us there. You know you're not going to find us there. So why is it okay for your people to come here and disrespect our laws? All the South Africans are asking for is that, listen, you are welcome here in South Africa when you are legally here, so that we know who you are, what you're doing here. And if you committed a crime, we know where to get you. Which also includes using international law authorities like Interpol, so that you can come back and then you are held accountable. Why are you such a liar, sir? Why are you worshiping the devil? Why are you making the devil happy, Mr. Ablakwa? You are a liar. A liar, sir. And the third thing that I want to also highlight here is your hypocrisy. You right now are dealing with Nigerians in Ghana. The people of Ghana are on the streets demanding for Nigerians to be returned home, to go home and fix their country. Why is it okay for Ghana to do that, but it's not okay for us to do that? Do you see, sir, that you are the devil worshipper? Yeah, we know. Devil worshippers come in all sorts of sizes. They come wearing suits, and politicians as well. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. We South Africans know our history. You guys need to get it through your thick skulls. We know our history. And on top of that, we know your history as well. You sold human beings to be enslaved in another land by different kind of people. That's evil. But we're not bringing that to your attention. We don't disrespect you with your history. We've been quiet, but you'll find it very easy to come and climb on top of our head and unzip your pants and pee on top of our head. We're not going to allow that. This is our country. We don't give a rat's tail what agreements you had with Ronald Lamula. We are not owned by Ronald Lamula. We are not owned by the ANC. If you want whatever it is that you gave to the ANC, go to the Lutuli house and demand for that. Otherwise, as South Africans, we will collect what you tell us how much we owe you. Tell us how much we owe you so we can pay it back. But you need to produce receipts, sir. Please produce receipts. So it's sickening what you guys are doing. It's sickening because it's evil.
South Africans, listen up. Go fix your country. I love this slogan. I love it. And this slogan is supposed to open African youth eyes, not making them mad, because if you're getting mad about this go fix your country, then you are part of the problem. Okay? If you're mad, hold your corrupt leaders accountable. We are talking about the good infrastructure, water, electricity in South Africa as the same standard as Europe. Why not in your country? Why not in your country? You'll be supporting your leaders because of a little check that they give you. Deep down, you know that they are not doing shit, but you supporting them. Okay? Y'all can't even protest for your own rights in your damn country. Then you have to go to South Africa. I love it. And if you are mad about it, go hold your leaders accountable.